The Scottish Government says the health and care sector will suffer because of plans by UK ministers to tighten immigration rules. Keir Starmer's proposing to cut the recruitment of overseas care workers as part of his strategy to take back Britain's borders. As he puts it, once here, migrants would have to wait 10 years before being able to apply for British citizenship, double the current time. We'll get more on this from our political editor in just a moment. But first, Maurice Logie from Bluebird Care in South Lanarkshire gave us his thoughts to our reporter, Martin Graham.
Tell us what Bluebird does and tell us what your staff do in the community, please.
Sure. So what Bluebird does is basically look after people in their own homes. That's our mantra. We think that for mainly elderly customers that we have, they're safest at home, and we want to keep them there safely for as long as possible. So we're funded by the local council. We also have private customers as well. It's a mixed funding model, but our biggest customer currently is South Lanarkshire Council.
How many of your staff at the moment are from other countries other than the UK?
So I just checked this morning. We've got 66 care staff currently on our books. 47% of them are on skilled worker visas. I think we have between 10 and 12 different nationalities, which very much reflects modern Scotland. But the skilled worker visa in particular is something that we registered for with the Home Office about 4 years ago. And frankly, I don't think we would have survived as a business if we hadn't done that.
What are some of the challenges of recruiting staff for this sector?
So again, the reason we went down the skilled worker route is because, like everybody in our situation, we're a small family business, but I think we're not untypical. We do advertise in a lot of the local job centres, job boards, where everybody else is advertising. We frankly struggle to get responses. People generally don't want to come and work in the care sector for whatever reason. My message to Keir Starmer would be to reconsider, in the sense that this does seem to be so all-encompassing that I believe the care sector is a special case, in the sense that what we bring to the table is very special, very significant. Social care helps the NHS and frees up the NHS. So I think that this particular move may be appropriate in other sectors, but I do not think it helps or rectifies what we're dealing with in social care.
Well, we can now chat to our political editor, Glenn Campbell, who's with us. Glenn, can you just run us through some of the headlines, I suppose, some of the detail as to what the Prime Minister laid out today?
Well, he's promising to reduce migration over a period of time, certainly by the end of this Parliament, but it's worth pointing out that successive Prime Ministers have made similar promises and have not been able to fulfil them. Keir Starmer obviously hopes that he can be more successful in delivering on that promise, and in order to do that, he's making a number of changes, or proposing a number of changes. He wants those who seek to come and live and work in the UK to be tested for their English language skills, and for those tests to be extended to their dependents. He's also talking about specifically ending the special visa for social care workers, which you've been discussing with someone from a social care business. And he's suggesting that there should be other efforts to tighten up the system and try and get greater control over those who can come and live and work in the UK. Let's be clear, though, we're not talking here about those who, often at great danger to themselves, cross the English Channel to seek asylum in the UK. We're not talking about people who try to come and live here illegally. This is an effort to tighten up the system for legal immigration into the UK.
As you said, we got the reaction from Maurice Logie from Bluebird Care. What's the reaction been, not just from those perhaps in some of the industries that are most likely to be affected, but what's the political reaction been as well?
Well, it's worth saying that Scotland is an ageing population. It is, or would be, a shrinking population as well, were it not for people from elsewhere in the UK and across the world choosing to come and live and work here. Now, that's not to say there aren't concerns about immigration among people in Scotland. There are, but it has tended not to be the sort of hot button issue that it can be in England, for instance. And I think that's partly because in Scotland we haven't had the mass immigration that some communities in England have had. There's tended here at Holyrood to be a political consensus that immigration is good for our economy and good for our society. I do wonder, though, if that consensus might come under serious pressure, given that some political parties are feeling electoral pressure from Reform UK, which wants to dramatically reduce levels of net migration. That's the numbers of people coming into the country, less the number of people choosing to leave. And we've had one indication this evening from the Scottish Conservatives saying that they support the idea of getting rid of the social care visa because levels of immigration, they believe, need to come down. And they, along with Scottish Labour, think that the Scottish Government should be doing more to make social care a more attractive place to work. The Scottish Government, as you mentioned, thinks these changes would be damaging. It's trying to argue for a Scottish visa system, something that I think is likely to be rejected by the UK Home Office, although it has allowed in the past some specific Scottish flexibility on visas for overseas graduates.
Glenn Campbell, our political